Yeah, man, lonesome up. Yes, man, the captain up. Lonesome up. Alright, we're there. But I have a million things I done from last week. Me I try carry that thing when it come in the paper and up on TV. So I'm gonna play back a little clip with it with the doctor them, you know, I speak out. But them no want show them face. So them use people from the television, you know, for acting on them part and talk with them I say because them now, you know, them depend on contract and thing in the health system. So you know them I say the health system did run short and you know them that say no go so and things, so the doctor them I speak out. So I play it and go and listen what them I say no. You see me I say that's our health system, you know, go and shake up. You see me I say? So I go and play it and hear what them I say no.
Public health system from the inside. Doctors tell their stories of overwork, fatigue, depression, and more.
We're robots, and we're expected to work even though we're also sick.
How their working conditions affect them and impact you.
We're doing procedures on patients in little hot musty rooms, no fan, trying not to drip or sweat on the patients.
That's why them can't, when me talk about this, them can't come and say me could just burn lonesome because lonesome said. Like when I talk the other day, hear this now.
And welcome to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
When I was listening, you know.
Lena carried a story entitled No Work for Doctors about the number of doctors who have not had their contracts renewed. The Ministry of Health in response put out a statement saying that the sector has its full cadre of clinical staff and that there has been no reduction in the numbers of doctors employed in the system. The doctors say that's just the problem. They say the system is so severely understaffed that it's creating stress and dangers for them as well as for the patients. So we wanted to take you inside the hospitals as seen through the eyes of the doctors who work there, but we had a problem. Most of them are on contracts. They're afraid to speak publicly for fear of victimization. So later in the program, we'll be hearing from 2 Jamaican doctors now working in the United States who feel free to speak freely. And we'll also be hearing from the health minister and the opposition spokesman on health. In this segment of the program, though, what you're going to hear are stories from doctors who are currently working in our hospitals here as voiced and portrayed by some of our team members.
I recall days of doing 24 hours on-call duty as the only resident and one intern while sick. I could not stop to eat, to take my medication, because it was just too much work. A referral here, a referral there, an emergency here. Interns need help. The interns need supervision. Who does it if you're sick out and you can't work? I stayed because we are robots, and we are expected to work even though we are also sick. The following morning, that is after the 24-hour shift, yes, we still have to continue working 8 to 4, even after working 24 hours prior. On that ward round, following the 24-hour duty, I fainted. I was dehydrated. I was roasting with a fever. But in my mind, I could not leave because there was nobody else to replace me. And if there is no doctor, what happens to the patient?
No, when you hear them things, you know, that's how me attack on the person from down in a page to try to go on me. You know, you have to button them and show them kind of little things that, you know, and just the more talk, you know, doctor them, you have some people in the contract, they want to come talk, you have to make them speak up. I have to play this from last week, you know, I can't make it go on no longer. I have to play it, man. Run it.
I had to be sent home on sick leave, and that guilt that I felt was unmatched, because that meant that somebody else was going to have to be pulled to replace me, leaving that person with extra work. Many of the doctors we know, including myself, have severe acid reflux or peptic ulcer disease. Why? We don't eat. We are working 8 hours, and if you're on call, 24 hours. And you don't eat. You don't have time to eat. We are hungry. We develop acid reflux. Some of us start vomiting blood. Yes, it happens. I remember days before going to work because I'm on call and I have to lie there and cry for about an hour or just calm myself down because I need to function when I go to work. And nobody can see that I'm dying on the inside. Why? Because we are short-staffed. How many times have we heard, oh yeah, these doctors are miserable. They don't know how to talk to people. Yes, I'm not saying that there aren't a few. However, imagine having to work like what I just described, 7 days per week. Yes, at most hospitals, doctors are working 7 days per week. You are doing this day after day with no break. Ask for leave, you probably won't get it because there isn't anybody to replace you. So you're working like this non-stop. What use are you to yourself?
You know,
What
the
use are you to
patient.
anybody around you at home?
Not even the
What use
patient.
are you to your patients?
Of course, you can't have no
If you're not
use.
functioning at 100%, barely 50%, how are you expected to then give a patient 100%? You have to smile and be courteous to a frustrated patient or relative who is screaming at you. You have to respond to emergencies even though you're dying from exhaustion. You can't make a mistake. Now there are doctors sitting at home when one doctor in a hospital is doing the work of 3. How does that make sense? We struggle with anxiety, PTSD, depression,
PTSD.
as a result of all the stress. There are doctors who are meeting the accidents on the road going home because they are so tired. This is what a short-staffed system does. And it has always been. It is almost unacceptable for one doctor to do the job of 4. Patients deserve better. Even if you won't look at us, the patients deserve better.
Sure,
I
man.
am a medical officer. Internship at the Bustamante Hospital for Children was one of the most stressful rotations. On duty night, there were only 2 interns who covered the whole medicine department, 5 wards.
2
Each ward
interns.
housed 25 to 30 patients. Procedures on
That's
children
right.
usually require 2 persons, as taking blood from an adult is not the same as taking blood from a child. So if one intern is taking the history of a new patient and another intern is doing a procedure alone in the treatment room, who responds to the calls on the other wards? The baby who requires a transfusion because he's dying of dengue. Who helps the other intern who is holding the baby or child doing the procedure? Who goes to the lab and collect results? Or blood transfusion? Who goes to give chemotherapy to the children with cancer who require medication every 12 to 6 hours?
And a 2 intern.
Who goes to assist children who crash and need resuscitation? Who cites the IV access for the child having diarrhea who need fluids? The hospital is severely understaffed. 2 interns and 2 residents cover the whole department every night. Parents curse me out saying they have to be waiting long. And I have to sign a police report for a parent who threatened to kill me because he had to wait long. I work all night to get everything done. So after working 8 a.m. one day to 8 a.m. the next day, I have to stay back to work my regular 8-hour shift. But the work has to be done. So now I have to stay after 4 o'clock until 8 p.m. When work finishes at 4 and we leave at 8 p.m., we do not get paid overtime for that. After working that 36-hour shift, I had to work the next day. And the next 36-hour shift may be 2 days after. So when doctors make mistakes and patients die or suffer, it is because the system is understaffed and we are burdened and cannot say anything. On my first duty, I cried. It was 8 p.m. I went to use the bathroom and the resident acted as if I left for an hour. They claim they give us dinner as you can't leave the hospital and there's nothing to buy after 6 p.m. But what is white rice and mackerel thrown in a box, left on a ward in the open? But it didn't matter because there was no time to eat. That night driving home, I almost crashed. I made up my mind that I was not going to stay, and I'm currently working my hardest to get out of this country. People may say we get paid for 36-hour work. I get $10,000 extra on my basic salary and almost lost my life.
I vividly remember a time before I was a doctor when I was in full support of free healthcare because I understand the financial hardships faced by people and how that impacts their ability to access treatment. Fast forward to me working in the public system and getting perspective from the other side that people don't get to see or understand. People are given the impression that with free healthcare, the government is funding first-class treatment, when in actuality, it's a flood of patients on the healthcare system without sufficient resources.
Them not no resource.
This directly impacts patient care, and the doctors are the ones on the front line receiving the lashing and disrespect from the patients because there is no bed space, for example. There are also not enough doctors to attend to the influx of patients, so there's an overwhelming patient-doctor ratio. Then again, we're attacked because they've been waiting for hours without being seen. When it is that they finally do get seen, we don't have the necessary instruments or basic amenities to treat them.
A true way, no?
At baseline, we are doing procedures on patients in little, hot, musty rooms, no fans, trying not to drip or sweat on the patients. Blood and other bodily fluids splashing on us because we don't have proper protective equipment. And even if we did, we would be too hot to wear them. We stand on our feet for hours on end, 36 and sometimes 52-hour shifts, going and going.
That's
No
a foolishness,
food,
you know?
no water, no time to even eat or drink, even if we had food or water. Just seeing patients back to back, falling asleep trying to take a patient's history because we can't stay awake no matter how we try.
52
Working
hours.
and working until the sun comes up, and we're still at work. And at the first interaction with each patient, we receive disrespect and curse words because they've been waiting so long to be seen.
Yeah, man, I've seen.
During this process, we are expected to be sharp enough to make sharp and emergent assessments because we are directly responsible for saving lives. We are expected to be academic on tired brains and dehydrated bodies. At the end of it all, the day is done and rest is forthcoming, and we try to muster up the last bit of energy we have left to just make it home, and then boom, we crash. Some of us die because our eyes couldn't stay open to get us there. It's a thankless job. People don't care about our side of the story because they think we get paid well enough anyway, not understanding that we also have bills and loans, and a lot of us are the first in our family to be financially successful, so we therefore become responsible for taking care of our whole families.
True.
We are people too. We go home and the only free time we have is to catch up on sleep to start over again. We don't have time for relationships and lives outside of work. We don't have time to have our own children. I remember at a children's hospital, and a parent who was waiting long to be seen came to me and told me that it's true me can't breathe while I am making her child suffer. When I was seeing back-to-back patients, others more critical than her child, I will never forget that. A patient told me thank you once, and I cried. I am currently a medical officer working in the Southeast Regional Health Authority. During my senior health officer year, I was placed at the Princess Margaret Hospital. I was sent to St. Thomas against my will, but I went with an open mind, eager to work in this new parish. To my surprise, Princess Margaret was a Type C hospital, functioning like a Type A or a Type B, but with the staff of a Type D, if there is even such a thing.
Type C.
At Princess Margaret Hospital, on-duty night starts at 4 p.m. There are 2 doctors assigned. The doctors cover the A&E department and also cover the whole hospital. That includes the maternity ward, children's ward, and the regular medicine and surgical ward. I hope you can understand what that means. Between 4 p.m. and 8 a.m. the next morning, we would get between 40 to 50 patients. This includes children and adults. It does not end there. These 2 doctors also have to go to the operating theater to assist with any surgery that come in that night. That includes C-sections, an appendectomy, gunshot wounds, any lacerations, or stab wounds. The 2 doctors have to decide how they're going to split the work that night and deal with it. So the doctors are covering A&E, the operating theatre, the pediatric ward, the maternity ward, the medicine ward, and the general surgery ward. This includes attending any patient who needs resuscitation, any blood transfusions, any mother who delivers and needs stitches, in addition to seeing people who come into A&E and deciding who is urgent and who needs to be sent home. Tell me about understaffed. Why don't they hire more medical officers? How is that even a thing? Every duty, I was terrified. It was a lot of work and we had no senior. There is no A&E consultant at the Princess Margaret Hospital and it operates like a type B hospital. And that is when I was there, which was last year. We had little guidance at the hospital. If emergencies come in during the night, we have to wait and stabilize until the consultant comes, most times from Kingston. So you have to be a jack of all trades, skilled in pediatrics, skilled in maternity, skilled in surgery. I learned to think quick on my feet and handle situations. That is one thing that I benefited from that experience at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Patients cursed us like dogs, coming to the A&E, batting us up to be seen, literally cursing bad words at us. We have to swallow it and just continue working. When anything happens on those wards, whether it is a mother who suffered a neonatal death and their partner is upset, they come onto the ward shouting and yelling, not understanding how strained the system is. I have to prioritize. Do I attend to the gunshot wound in A&E? Do I run down to attend to the mother who is hemorrhaging? Now that to me is a health crisis and a lot of patients suffer. They don't understand the other side of the situation. That is just two doctors serving the whole hospital. Until you experience something like that, you will never understand.
Well, I'm gonna stop that now. If the doctor them come and them, all angles, so them that talk, and they come to the paper and everything, and the people them come out and attack, them afraid to talk, so them now show them face. But when you really think of it, each of them big hospital where them have a two doctor there work. Here, much them you have certain different, But them people here, them do A&E there, so them deal with maternity ward, them do surgeon work, there's surgery, them do everything. Can you imagine? Bats stitch up and all kind of things and people just dead and all kind of thing happen to people, man. And then we hear so well system and cause much money and the best system and be nice and things. That's why politicians don't use it. And them we talk about them thing you seen. Them thing you seen. And you can't doctor sick. I drop down, ulcer, stomach and all kind of things. Them you seen. And all them do is have board with this side for doctors. You go check the board. And them people where on the head board, them people who depend on the board, them have nothing to do because them are harder the things and them, go on and thing. This a director and this and this and that. Them have nothing to do with the doctor business. Nothing. You understand? Them make decision and make this bag of money for nothing at all. A sin pan people and a sin pan the doctor them. This have to go change. You understand? So we don't want, the hospital them and them paint outside and thing but with no equipment. People, they are doctor, they are hospital, and you can't get you want a CT scan, you have to go outside. You want medication, everything you have to buy from outside. See, the little bird send me him never the other day where crash off of the bike down Clarendon. One person died, and him never mash up. Two of them two bike meet up. And you see what happened? Everything what them have, even the job on a block, them have to go and buy everything. You understand? Outside. Everything them have to do outside and that bad. Really bad. You understand? Them thing are bad, man. We need a change. We have to do something for the health system. Education system, health system, proper job, proper certain things. It can't work. It don't make no sense. People just go there, go itch up. When a two doctor run up and down and do everything, you're dead. You know what that means? Poor people suffer. And yes, still we hear say much billion, 70, 80 billion spent on the system and we upgrade it. And you can't nobody show me no building, man. Make sure the people them good. Make sure the people them good. All doctor feel it too. Understand? So you want now. We see the minister come up with the idea. Say I come up with 30 people, you know, in a public sector, me have to carry it up. Me have to carry it up and see where I say. Public, me can't talk about it. Where I say they might give some scholarship. You understand? For further education and thing, you know, maybe university and thing, for 5 years. So I must spend $1 billion, 30 people. So if we split up for 30 people, that means 30 people, that work out to like 33 million something. Because 30 people, you split it in, right? Yeah, one of them are like 33 million something, right? You have a million left, 33 million, you know, like, yeah, you know, couple thousand. Same? That means I spend like $6 million a year, you know, to give them the scholarship and thing. Instead of you do that, you have some medical people, you know, staff who can't find the money. Thing there. Yeah, say them come back and contribute in a hospitality and all kind of things. No. Take that same money and spend and pay for them doctor fee there and make them sign something that them can give back some of the time now. And some of them nurses use the same money there where you say them $1 billion to go send people and go do what and what and use it and recruit some doctors. Yeah? You pay for them like how them a struggle for that. You give them that scholarship. Use that money that we can boost up with hospital. Something better way I tell you. Because that will save life and better for we. You understand? And the nurse them. Yeah man, just pay for them. Because me just see 2 ministers in the paper I think yesterday. Yeah. I think about thing and Tebelang. And them are talk about, you know, them, you know, up at UE, they must put $100. Everything them are quote in the US now. And the same medical staff, the people who are trained for doctors and nurses and them kind of little things there. And people can't, I remember there Jamaican, them are quoted in the US. And I watch the value of the US where you have to pay them, you know. And them can't find the money. You understand? So the $1 billion but we also we gotta do the 30 people and give them one and send them and use it. We'd rather use it and even clear off some of them people and then make them sign 3 of them and give back a 5 years in the medical field, let's say in the hospital them before them go and can still pay them in, but them have to work out something with the hospital. You understand? And turn out some more doctors and nurses, man. Them need help, man. You understand? And then the bottom line is, you know, remember, uno politician and the big man, them a fly out, you know. Uno na use, no. People just ask no question. You never see politician go down a KPH check, go lie down in one of them bed there. No. Say if them not use it, me not use it. Anything when not good for them, me not use it. And it's so bad. Any politician, for you say, my friend, we should have look against this thing. You can't do that in a UK, or in a Europe, or in a US or Canada and them thing there. Any hospital from whether you're a politician, whether you're this and that, any hospital can look about you. That means the hospital up to standard. It have to up. Even if they want to transfer it to something, they can stabilize and look for you. But no, if they go a 22 wing or one of them uptown hospital, let them fly go to Miami. It not work. If it not work for them, me not use it neither. You understand? And to where the doctor them explain is, you see why I have to call it slaughterhouse that doctor sleep and pay a mistake and make your people are dead. You understand? In turn, at the surgery. And the surgeon, you know, in turn, I look on gunshot wound. So they might say, I could try to stop a bleeding because they have the idea and just patch you up somebody and if you go home and do your business, that's still, because they might try. Because you could have did and bleed out anyway. You see me I say? And them wait for one, somebody to do a C-section and them go do the cutting to where them never, come on now. Eh? And something else on the side them do it and appendix and them go do that too. No, it's dangerous. And them run it. No, that's dangerous, man. We have to do something about this, man. The money we have spent, we want to save value for our money and make sure the doctor them stop overwork. That means nobody. That's why people can't get looked out. That's why so much thing happen to people right now, yeah? It needs to change. But there, keep it real, lonesome, yeah? Me up. Bad man, it's bad. Real bad.